Hello everybody and welcome back to a brand new episode of our NASCAR 25 career mode here on the channel. I hope you're all having a great day. Today we take on races 4, 5, and 6 of our Truck Series career. Homestead, Miami, Martinsville, and then Bristol. Now we're coming in with a little bit of an upgraded truck here now as we have kind of reached the level 3 spec, and I kept mentioning last episode about level 7. No, I meant level 6 that we can get to in the Truck Series. I'm not actually sure if there's a level 7 or not, but there is a level 6, which you're going to see towards the end of this episode, and just how costly it is to upgrade to that 6th level equipment all across the board. We have had a rocky start to our Truck Series career. Daytona went okay. Atlanta, we had a bug, which apparently, from what I gathered, comes down to you have to upgrade your truck going into Atlanta, and that seems to help it, but obviously no one told me that beforehand, and there was no way for any player to know that going into Atlanta. So of course we are looking for a better effort here in Miami. Of course, we're coming off of a 1.5 miles at Las Vegas, a very different type of 1.5 miles, but this one's exciting, and it's really all about putting in a qualifying lap because we have qualified last everywhere so far. The 2 super speedways, Las Vegas, we crashed ourselves, and we actually do hit the outside wall in turn 4, just trying to push too hard as we head down this front straightaway to the line. Nonetheless, it's going to be not last. We're 25th even after hitting the wall, so I was pretty confident after that qualifying in the sponsor goal of that top 33 position. It's Corey Heim on pole position, as you can see as well. Kyle Busch, Lane Riggs, Chandler Smith, and Ty Majeski all up there in the mix. It's Friday night, 8 p.m. under the lights, racing, ready to kick off here. There's a cat going crazy in the background with one of their toys, so if you hear that, I apologize. But nonetheless, we're ready to go racing here from Miami now in the SKF top tier racing Toyota Tundra now. And I'm hopeful that we can get a respectable top 20 effort here from Miami. This is a track I've been looking forward to this entire career mode so far. We didn't have the option to race here in ARCA, but now, finally in the Truck Series, if we want, we can rip the top tonight. Under the lights, we're racing here from Homestead Miami Speedway from the 25th starting position. We've got some work to do, but I'm confident we can work our way forward here now as we head down into turn number 1. Of course, if you guys missed the first episode, the situation was over the offseason. And of course, going into the offseason, we were hired by Tricon Garage, who ended up buying out my contract before I even started because of Tony Breidinger bringing more sponsorship, and they went to go with her instead. But through the agreement, they agreed to basically build our trucks, and Top Tier Racing would step up into trucks, which was never the plan for them. They were planning to stay in ARCA, but they jumped up to trucks to support my career, and of course Toyota Racing Development gave them more funding to make this happen, and like we said, Tricon building our trucks, but it's still going to take a while because this was a last minute thing, so it's going to take a while until we can have more competitive trucks in our stable. Of course, in the Truck Series, you got 2 truck bays to work with now. In ARCA, you have simply 1 car to fix up every race. In trucks, you get 2 trucks, so you can kind of swap back and forth and make repairs to one, race the next one for the next race, and then, you know, keep going in that same process of the truck you race, you repair the next one and use the other truck, and then repair that one and go back to the one you just repaired, basically. So, nonetheless, Stage 1, we were P22, which overall, I mean, that's an improvement of a few positions as we get ready for the second stage, and Lane Riggs looking like a potential candidate early on to be a factor to win this race now, as we're going to restart in the 22nd position on the outside lane. Stage 2, ready to kick off here from Homestead Miami Speedway. Green flag is back out, and I really would like to get up on the wall, and honestly, it's been really fun ripping the wall in this game, but at the same time, on the controller, I do struggle running the wall consistently because it just, you know, I myself come from wheel gameplay for the last 6 or 7 years, so to play it on controller, it's been a very different experience for me, but fortunately, the controller play in this game is really, really good. I will, however, be back on my wheel when the PC version comes out in less than a month, when we'll be seamlessly transitioning this career mode over to the PC version, but don't worry, we're going to still have a lot of content on the way just on Xbox as well, from multiplayer lobbies and more stuff to come as well, so stay tuned on that. Also can confirm this is the last episode on the Xbox Series S, so next episode I will be moving over to the Xbox Series X, which is going to look significantly significantly better, so I'm excited for that, because I know some of you guys have been mentioning, like, what in the world is, like, the graphics, and it's just simply the S. It's the X looks way better. I know the S as well has gotten some performance upgrades here in a recent update, but I had already recorded this before that update, so yeah, next episode, you're going to be seeing a way better looking game, so I'm excited for you guys to see that now, as we're to the back of Matt Crafton. Crafton actually called us reckless last episode, and he wasn't happy with how I raced him at Daytona, getting into him out of turn 4, causing that crash with Andres Perez now, and here we are, 3 wide with the 3-time champion. He crosses my nose right there. Very close quarters racing right at the end of stage 2, where we end up in the 19th position, so both stages we have gained 3 positions. Corey Heim takes stage number 2 instead of Lane Riggs now, and that's another playoff point to the number 11 Tricon Toyota driver, as we'll get ready for stage number 3, the third and final stage. And I mean, overall, we have made some clear gains with some upgrades coming into today's race, and I mean, running top 20, I'm pretty content with that now. And as we get back underway for the start of stage 3, I'm hopeful maybe even a top 15 is going to be possible. Now, after this race, we've got 2 short tracks, Martinsville and Bristol. Those are 2 tracks I expect to run well at, especially Martinsville. Bristol probably going to be a little bit more difficult because it's more high speed than a Martinsville. Of course, Martinsville has a ton of braking, which I think is going to play into my strengths a little bit more now as we head down this back straightaway. We're actually 3 wide down the back straightaway here. Stuart Friesen going up the middle into turn number 3. 2 Canadians right here side by side. One that's been in the Truck Series for a long time, and then myself, who's trying to climb the ladder and say, hey, I'm going to be the Canadian superstar that NASCAR has always been missing as we head down this front straightaway. Brent Cruz right here, a part-time teammate in front of myself, or Alliance teammate I should say, now with 10 laps to go in this race. If we can complete this pass on Friesen, it'll be for 18th, and now sneaking to the inside of the number 1 Tundra, Mobile One sponsored driver of Brent Cruz, but we would pass him, but it was short-lived for my successes, because now as I ran down Gio Ruggiero, I actually get split 3 wide by Crafton and Friesen, so both myself and Cruz now going suddenly in the wrong direction, but we power back ahead of Crafton and go back to the outside of Friesen, and we would continue back forward until that right there, into the outside wall, big slide, nearly into the barrels. That would have been a highlight clip that would not have been good for us as we save it, and unfortunately that top 15 run potential turns into running 22nd, 23rd going into turn number 1, and it's those little mistakes that I do expect to make as a rookie in every series. I mean, all these vehicles have a little bit different characteristics that you got to be a little bit more patient with sometimes, and I paid the price overstepping the boundaries right there. Nonetheless, we continue to just try and rebound and at least try to salvage a top 20 out of this, running down Matt Mills here through 3 and out of turn 4, coming to lap 14. Got a nice run down the front straightaway here on the slipstream as well, and just a handful of laps to go at this point, and we continue kind of just running up a little bit higher on the racetrack, and as we exit turn 2 down this back straightaway, we will be able to clear him and take 20th position. So I was really struggling with the handling though late in this race, and you see it here, loose again out of turn 2. I mean, the truck just sliding here now as we head down the back straightaway, and there goes the positions again, down to 22nd, maybe even worse, 23rd. Do I hear a 24? Jeff Gordon, yes I do hear a 24 as we get passed by Spencer Boyd into turn number 3. I mean, just had to be way more patient on throttle. I mean, as the tires were wearing, this race specifically was probably the most I have felt a difference in handling from the start of a run to the end of a run, and we end up 24th on the final lap. I mean, that is not, of course, even close to where we should have been. That's frustrating. That is one that got away. I think we were capable of running top 15, top 16, and we blew it. Corey Heim, he wins back-to-back races in Vegas and Miami, as we can now focus in on trying to bounce back here now in the next 2 races. We made still $8,000 in profit, so there's a slight positive of throwing away, you know, 9, 10 positions, but you can see the truck also not very worn out, so that's going to be some easy repairs. We would actually make a go-kart appearance, which would give us over 2,000 more reputation, helping us to get the Xfinity Series unlocked. We would also sign assign a new mechanic on the team. We can have one more mechanic, so you can have 4 mechanics on your truck team. So we'll get one more hopefully here soon enough. And now we can upgrade to level 4 parts. So we're going to do that right now. And yeah, we're going to actually put those on for the Martinsville truck here. And then we're going to continue to repair the truck that we just used for Bristol. But by the time we get to Bristol, we might be able to buy some more parts there and then upgrade again. But we'll wait and see and see what the situation is. But level 4 unlocked. We still got level 5 and level 6 to go as we now head into the part where we do repair the Bristol truck. So Bristol truck is ready. Everything's ready. Let's head into the paperclip from Martinsville Speedway. A track that I love dearly. Honestly, this is my favorite part of the schedule because it's my 2 favorite tracks. Homestead, Miami, and Martinsville are my 2 favorite NASCAR tracks. Chicago Street Course is one I love as well, but obviously we're not going to be, of course, anywhere close to that yet until we get into the Xfinity Series and then the Cup Series, so we can't really go there. But nonetheless, here in qualifying, and I felt pretty confident, to be honest, here. With the goal of a top 33 for the sponsor, I felt like I was going to knock it out of the park, to be honest, as we exit turn 4 down the front stretch. And we're going to go P17, so we do exactly what I was hoping. I mean, we out-qualify that spot there for the goal by like 16 spots. As again, Corey Heim, I think Corey Heim's been on pole for every race so far, if I'm not mistaken. He is absolutely destroying everybody. And now that we're into some more normal racetracks, I don't see how we're going to beat him, to be completely honest with you, or how anybody's going to beat him. I think I can, to be honest, but we, of course, need to get the truck into a better position here, and hopefully Tricon gets our better equipment soon enough now as we head down into turn 1 to kick things off here from the Martinsville paperclip. Under the lights again here up the inside of the 13 of Jake Garcia for Thor Sport now as we run down into turn 3. No Brent Cruz in the 1 truck this weekend. Now here in Martinsville, it's Brandon Jones in the number 1 as we're going to be able to work on passing him as well as we continue right up to the back of Connor Mozak, actually into the back bumper of him a little bit now as we as well look to the inside of your Daytona winner of Parker Kligerman. This is my type of race right here. It's a little bit of that old school beating and banging, but also it has that technicality, almost like a road course at the same time here. You always see like road course drivers as well really adapt to Martinsville well, because there's actually some braking technique involved, and when you bring that into the equation, you see those road course guys always perform a bit better at these types of short tracks now as we move up into 14th by the last lap of stage number 1. So a great start to this race, and right off the bat, I'm looking at the potential of our first top 10 of our Truck Series career right here. Corey Heim down the front straightaway will take stage number 1 here under the lights, and we'll exit turn 4 for the 14th position, and I'm pretty happy with the gains that we made in stage number 1, setting us up very well for stage 2, if we can get to the bottom, that is. I don't want to be stuck, of course, on the top lane, but P14 as we get ready for the green flag to fly in stage number 2. No pit stops yet. I'm thinking of going into next episode, we might do like 125% race and then have a pit stop cycle, but we'll see. I am considering that though. But nonetheless, we're back underway for stage 2. That poor restart bug still hurting us now, and Rajat Karuth here to my inside of the 71. He's going to pass us on the exit of turn 2 as we head down this back stretch to 42 up my inside now as we start to drop down the order a little bit, which is inevitable when you're at Martinsville. Of course, you don't want to be on the outside lane, especially on a restart, as now we head down this front stretch. We are just barely clear of Brandon Jones. We'll slide in between him and Mills. I kind of knocked Mills out of the way, but it looks like it helped him and moved him forward now as we're to the inside of an Alliance driver there. The 17 of Ruggiero will pass him and back to the inside of Mills. This will put us back into P14. It took us 3 laps to get back to where we were, and now we're going to spend the next few laps here before the end of the stage working on just gaining anything possible here. Stuart Frieson's just up in front of us. Could we maybe run him down and pass that 52 Tundra? The answer is absolutely. Into turn number 3, we're going to look to the inside on lap 4. You got Daniel Hemrick as well right here in front of us as we clear Friesen for the 13th position. But as we come to these final few laps now, Hemrick actually got to the inside of Karuth, who then would be vulnerable on the outside to myself. So started the final lap in stage 2. We're up the inside for the 12th position, and we should clear Karuth. Not quite on the exit of turn 2. He'll keep his nose right there at my right rear, nearly contact now as Corey Heim exits turn 4. He'll take the first 2 stages as we roll through 3 and 4. We'll take 12th position down this front straightaway. Very happy with that performance. Now we gain a couple of spots in stage 2. Unfortunately, though, does mean we'll have to start on the outside again for stage number 3, but I mean, we have got, in my opinion, a truck very capable of running in the top 10 here tonight in Martinsville, which is going to be a huge stepping stone for our Truck Series career. Restarting here along the outside now, and there's Lane Riggs in the 34 up there, one of the prospects, of course, moving his way up the ladder here towards the NASCAR Cup Series. Stage 3 underway as we head down into turn number 1. Can we get a top 10 for the first time in our Truck Series career as we exit turn 2? This is going to be a big stepping stone, like I said, if we can pull this off, and I am determined to pull it off as we head down into 3 behind Tanner Gray in the number 15, as now there goes Brandon Jones up my inside now in that Kingsford Tundra. I love that paint scheme, honestly. The flames are beautiful. We'll slide in to get a better look behind as we roll through 1 and 2 now, and it's all Tricon around us now, beating and banging a little bit there. Martinsville Racing, baby, as we lean on the left rear of that number 15 of Tanner Gray as we dive into turn number 3, trying to get back up the inside here and continue our progress forward now, and eventually we do finally pass Gray on the exit of turn 4. Kind of chopped his nose a little bit for 12th, but we do get the job done. Matt Crafton now on the outside, kind of getting shuffled back, and next thing you know, here I am up the inside of him now into turn number 3, and we're gonna actually go a little bit deep into the corner. We're gonna run Crafton up to the track a little bit. We kind of ran into him, and he was not happy about it.
Big picture, so let's be smart.
I know he probably didn't like that, but he shouldn't have called me out in Vegas. You hear Crafton's radio, and he is livid. You hear my response on the radio as well, and like I said, he called me out in Vegas, and I felt like it was fair game at that point now as we head down this front straightaway to focus in and drive away from Matt Crafton. Maybe not the best idea to be picking beefs with a 3-time champion of the Truck Series, but I mean, it's a situation we find ourselves in as we are now working on Daniel Hemrick. This is for the top 10 position now as we continue to leave Crafton behind. He is dropping down the order further, and we would make a pass on Daniel Hemrick for 10th and then start working in these closing laps of the inside of Tyler Ankrum. Now coming to lap 24, we're going to be able to pass him for a 9th position if we can clear him though through 1 and 2. Sliding around a little bit now. I see in my mirror Rajah Caruth is starting to come back through the order as well. He was dropping back earlier. It looks like he's got some life here at the end of this race, but through 3, can we clear the 1? Oh, it's close. We slide across the nose. We take the 9th position as we come to the final lap here from Martinsville Speedway. Caruth on my back bumper. He is putting on some pressure, but it's not enough. I couldn't quite reel in Brandon Jones. This was about all I had at this point now. Corey Heim sweeps everything. He'll take victory again in Martinsville. That's 3 consecutive wins here in the first 5 races as we exit turn 4 to the line. Our first top 10 in our Truck Series career. It didn't come without a little bit of drama with Matt Crafton, but we get P9. The confidence continues to build. The equipment continues to improve. Majeski, Honeycutt, Rhodes, and Lane Riggs, the rest of the top 5 to tail Corey Heim, and we hold off Rajah Caruth for the 9th position. Only $10,000 profit for a top 10 as our parts again not very worn out, which is a good thing to have for us going here as we get ready going into the final race of today's episode in Bristol. And we are going to have a sponsor opportunity, but we're signed on in this kind of storyline with SKF for the season, so I'm sticking with them. Look at this, level 5 and level 6 now unlocked. Level 6 costs like an average of $50,000 per part. Now we have over $200,000. We can afford 3 level 6 equipment parts right now, so we are going to go for it. We're going to install a level 6 body, which we're not going to use for Bristol. We're going to use it for the next episode because Bristol, I don't feel like we need it. It's a short track. So we also buy a level 6 chassis, and we would make the investment to buy a level 6 engine as well. Could not afford the suspension, unfortunately, but next episode I think is going to be our best opportunity yet to run up towards the front. Now, we also would buy a level 5 engine to throw into the Bristol truck. Everything else is going to be level 3 on the truck we use here in Bristol, but that engine should just give us a little bit more raw speed, and we're going to put that to the test right here in qualifying the high banks of Bristol Motor Speedway now, and we found success here in ARCA. Can we repeat that in the Truck Series as we roll through 3 and off of turn 4 down the front straightaway? That top 33 goal stands, of course, but we go P19. That was pretty competitive. I was very, very content with a 19th place effort. I mean, more speed overall. At the end of the day, we still only have mostly a level 3 truck, so it's not going to be the best. But Lane Riggs on pole, Kyle Larson and Kyle Busch, couple part-time drivers in the field this weekend. Unfortunately, I won't get to really race with them because I don't think our truck's still capable of doing that. But hopefully in the next couple of episodes, we're going to have a truck capable of racing head-to-head with those part-time Cup drivers of Larson and Busch, even Corey LaJoy as well, as we are going to get ready to go racing under the lights here from Bristol Motor Speedway for the final race here in today's episode now as we get ready to go. Lane Riggs leads the field to green. Corey Heim finally qualifies not on pole position for I think the first time all season long. Of course, I start alongside Matt Crafton as we roll through 1 and 2 now in a poor start, but we immediately bring it back to the inside of that Menards 88 as we head down into turn 3. That Ford on my outside now as we continue heading down this front straightaway to cross the stripe, starting lap number 2, and we should be able to clear Crafton. Yes, we do. As now 3 wide in front of us. There you got Andres Perez going at it. All these guys scrapping it out. Now, Bristol is some of the funnest racing you're going to have with the AI, honestly, in this game. And it's interesting because I remember, you know, back in older games, Bristol was one of my least favorites in terms of AI racing. Driving's always fun, but the AI racing was always kind of lackluster, but it's a lot of fun racing the AI at Bristol in this game, as it is just about everywhere as well. Now, as we were continuing to slowly work our way forward here, we've only moved up to 18th position, passing the 13 of Jake Garcia, who's still on my outside, as I'm trying to clear him, as we finally do on the exit of turn number 2. And by the time we came to the final lap here, I mean, I'd only gained 1 position on lap 8 of this race. So to the inside here of the 77 of Perez, the driver we took out in Daytona, Lane Riggs is going to start from pole and win stage 1. 10th place, cross the line, please. Thank you. The 77 was going to have the momentum off the corner, but fortunately 10th place crosses the line to end the stage, and we just barely hold on to the 17th position. So a gain of 2 positions is a little bit less than what I was hoping for. Like I said, we weren't going to quite have the speed that we had in Martinsville because this is more of a high-speed short track, of course, so it's just not going to be capable, in my opinion, with this equipment, but we can still, I think, try to get a top 15 out of this now as stage 2 is underway now. And as we get rolling into turn 1, you got the likes of Mozak up there, as well as Ben Rhodes as Perez crosses across my nose. As we head down this back stretch into turn 3, I say, okay, this is my opportunity to now start ripping the wall a little bit. And you see Perez, though, making the inside work. However, the momentum doesn't favor him against Mozak there down the straightaway, but then you can see that inside's really rolling, so I'm like, okay, you know what? The inside seems to have some potential right now. Don't mind if I just join that conversation here and start to make some headway as well as we continue to lean on the back of the left rear of Connor Mozak and that number 81 now, and Perez is continuing to claw his way forward. Passing is not easy. As fun as the AI are to race here, this is probably one of the more difficult tracks to just pass at, because when they're ripping the bottom, when they're ripping the top, you've got to, of course, rip the bottom, and you just got to be really patient. It's all about patience when you're passing on the bottom here. But we were making it work. We were moving our way forward, watching Perez and continue to drive away as we've got a crash on the exit of the corner, and that's going to end the stage. P16, as I stayed in the throttle, I couldn't quite tell who that was that crashed, but I stay in it, just trying to gain whatever I can. We gained 1 spot out of it in P16, and now we'll get ready to go green for the next stage. It's Chandler Smith who wins stage 2 under caution as he was able to beat Lane Riggs at the line. Now is the third and final stage will get underway here from Bristol Motor Speedway. What an episode this has been. It's been a blast so far, and I'm excited for next episode when we have a level 6 truck for, well, 75% of our truck now is actually clipped the outside wall in 1 and 2. That stunts our momentum now. Here comes Garcia back to my inside as we head into 3 now, and now we're forced, of course, to just kind of roll this top lane as I'm just just not quite rolling it as good as I would like to be right there, but we do gain the momentum on the exit of 4 now as we try to get back in front of the 13. Honestly, at this point, I was kind of wanting to be on the inside lane. I felt like that was just overall better for me, and I mean, you can see the mistakes I make here again up the outside wall, but now we settle in behind Garcia. It's like, where do we go? Which lane's going to be going? Does Garcia have the speed on the bottom? It kind of looks like he does, so now I'm going to go back down to the bottom lane and follow him and see if he can kind of guide me forward. This has been, I mean, not a great race for us, but it's been just a race that we're kind of content in, you know, where we're doing what we need to be doing. I think that's kind of the main thing right now, is we're to the inside of Stuart Friesen now as we head down the back straightaway, and we continue to work on passing some trucks. We passed Friesen, we're to the inside of Tanner Gray here by lap 21, but he actually re-clears us on the exit of the corner, so passing, like I said, just not an easy task here in Bristol. Qualifying, honestly, is super important in this race, because now, actually, hold on, we got another crash into turn 3. Caution comes out really quick on that one, so we didn't really have time to gain anything, and now it's still Chandler Smith leading the way, and we'll be now racing a late race restart. This might actually be a 2-lap sprint. We'll find out here in just a second, but nonetheless, Chandler Smith has Kyle Larson and Kyle Busch pressuring him coming into this restart, which is going to be just a few more laps to go. We do have more than 2 laps now as we continue to try and just claw our way to maybe a top 15. We got to pass 3 trucks in these closing laps now. Chandler Smith continues to lead the way. Larson and Busch up there in the conversation as we get right there against Stuart Friesen here as we head down into turn number 1. Tanner Gray as well. Can we pass Tanner Gray before this race comes to a conclusion now, as it's still Smith out in front? Can he hold on to win? And it looks like Corey Heim's not going to be winning here today, that's for sure now, as we continue now to the inside of Andres Perez, looking for another spot here in these closing moments. This would be enough for the 15th position if we can complete this pass. Kyle Busch is now up the inside of Chandler Smith, and he's taking the lead of this race with 5 laps to go in this race. So all of a sudden, Kyle Busch might have a chance to go to victory lane right here now as we come to lap 31, and now continuing to move forward on the inside lane is working out pretty well. 2 laps to go in this race, and the battle for the lead was continuing to shake up as Daniel Hemrick had taken the lead, but Kyle Busch was right back on him to the inside, coming to the final lap here from Bristol. Grant Enfinger to my outside, 1 lap to go. Who's it going to be? Is it going to be Hemrick, or is it going to be Kyle Busch now as we exit turn 2 just on the rear bumper of Ben Rhodes, but Busch has the lane through 3 and 4. You can see it from here. Kyle Busch is clear. Kyle Busch wins in Bristol to the line against Enfinger. He gets us right at the line, but we do get a top 15, which is kind of what we set out to do, so I'm pretty confident in the just continuous progress of this team and overall happy with that result. Kyle Busch takes the victory, so a big deal for him right there. Now is Hemrick and Carruth and Riggs and Smith there at the top 5. Corey Heim actually dropped down to 8th position. Not a great night for Corey Heim, but there's a bit of an issue, and I'm going to present you guys a question in the next episode. But Kyle Busch, so if a part-time driver wins, they're in the playoffs. That is a big problem that I don't know if it's going to get fixed or not in this game. That's only going to be really a problem in Trucks and Xfinity, but it's still a problem nonetheless. Now, following today's episode, we're 22nd in the points, but we're continuing to climb our way up, and I am very confident we can make the playoffs and win races. As soon as maybe next episode, we can win races. But I'm going to present you guys a question about the playoffs in the next episode, where we might manually do the playoffs, so part-time guys aren't an issue. But that's going to do it for me. I'll see you guys in the next one, where we see what we're capable of doing in a level 6 upgraded truck. Thank you for watching, and have yourselves a great day.